Yeah, guess who's back in a cool of the morning? Oh man, miss these moments. Peace and blessings to everybody who's listening. We're back for another walk and talk. Chew the meat, spit the bones, cause you know it's on. Now I just want to talk about a couple of things, like from my perspective, obviously. And so basically, I've been observing. I've been always an observer. You know, sometimes when people think, okay, you got two type of personalities when it comes to people who grew up in foster homes. The victim mentality, or the other person who try to make sense of things. I've always been a personality and spirit that I always try to make sense of things. Always. And I can't hold myself credit to none of that. I am just grateful how the Most High had made me. I'm really grateful how he made me and how he wired me. And there's scriptures that back up how he's given us ears, all the five senses, and even the way that you think. He had orchestrated that. And I'm pleased. And I'm always questioning, and I'm always examining the way I think to make sure that my thinking won't lead me down a path that's not profitable. So, over the years, even as I had learned more scriptures, over the years I would analyze the vibration between men and women. And growing up as a young man, always wanting to have an older man to guide me. Just wanted somebody just to tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. It's positive, I'll do it. I was that type of spirit. And didn't have too many men in my life to give me a whole bunch of guidance. So the little bit that was given to me, little game, it was able to stick. You know, my foster dad said, all you need to survive in life is common sense. You know what I'm saying? That was the gym that he dropped me. I had this old white dude named Bob Quiggle. Oh, man, I love Bob Quiggle because he was in my life when I was like 20 or 21. And I used to be in a church, an all-white church. And there's this my family, a black family, and another black family. And Bob Quiggle, somehow, we just clicked. And I was a street dude, you know what I'm saying? But me and Bob Quiggle, he was just a humble dude. He's always in the parking lot, just smoking his little cigarette. And he always got my attention because he wasn't no square. He was a gentleman, quiet man. And he wasn't a square like a lot of the men that were in the church. He just stuck to himself. His wife seemed to be like one of the type of church ladies who was just, she was kind, you know what I'm saying? But bottom line, to me, Bob was way more righteous than she was. You know, everybody would get finessed by the soft-spoken voice and the dress. But Bob was the righteous one. And he didn't have to throw his wife under the bus to show that. He just drove her to church, drove their daughters to church, and he just played the backfield. And me being an observer, somehow we just clicked. And Bob became like one of my confidants and mentors at that time, and I needed one because I was being tested in life with my family. For some reason, when I was in the streets, I had no problems. It was all quietness. But as I started converting, starting to take a righteous path, started getting a little resistance, and I had an attitude like, don't y'all get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? I'm still about that life. And I would talk to Bob, and Bob, we would go have coffee. I need to kick Bob's butt because I never used to drink coffee. He would drink coffee and I would drink hot chocolate. And then one day I ordered coffee at IHOP. I said, let me have what you having. And ever since then, I've been drinking coffee. And that's been 20 plus years. And when I bought my first house at 23, Bob bought me a coffee machine, a coffee maker. Damn, it make me want to cry right now. Damn. Whew. Bob bought me a coffee machine at my came to my house. We had, I forgot what it was called, but when you buy a house, everybody come over and bring you gifts. He brought me a coffee machine, man. I love that, man. Whew. But basically, Bob was just one of the few men that would drop, gems. He would drop his gems, and he basically was help me keep calm. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was really there to keep me calm through the little bullshit that I would have to go through. And God was there for me. But like I said, just observing life as a young man is quite natural. You want somebody to be there to make sure you're doing the right thing. And you probably heard me say this time and time again how YouTube is a blessing for those who are seeking understanding. Right now, we're in a time where it's the easiest way for you to get rich, money, financial independence, because there's so many different ways you can diversify the internet, the skills. You can learn skills on the internet. So, for the young man who doesn't have anyone, all he has to do is type in a topic and he might find himself a mentor, someone to guide him in the specific things that he is interested in. And that's one thing I love about the internet. And I'm really happy and I'm grateful for, hopeful for the young men who are taking advantage of those things. Because I know I probably would have too if I was that younger. Now, I'm coming to a time in life where I'm focused on myself. I'm tapping into the internet. Obviously, I see the channel, and I'm desiring for that to grow, and we benefit from that. But one thing that I like and that I notice is I would come across certain YouTube clips of young men getting some understanding about women. Young men getting some understanding about women. And it was like, the understanding they're getting is some of the understanding I had without the internet. And I'm like, yes, you get it. And I don't have any kids. And the reason why I don't have, that's a no. That's a no cue. The reason why I don't have any kids is, one, I didn't want to bring any kids into this world. And it's so messed up. You know what I'm saying? I would really have to trust a woman. she would really have to prove herself to me to show me that she's an A1 individual who would do right by the child, who would put the child in his proper place of priority. And you don't find that. You don't find that. You find a lot of fake love. A lot of women, not all, but a lot of women really don't love their children enough to give them the balance of having a man and woman in their life. They think they could do it all, and they're under that delusion, and they're sadly mistaken. They're going to eventually find out that they're wrong. So basically, I had that understanding, and I've been in relationships where the women are like, you want to have a kid? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Yeah, and I would enjoy them and I appreciate them, but I would sense that they weren't ready to have my type of child. What I mean by my type of child, they weren't ready to, to be an organic parent, a real woman about, raising somebody and truly building and guiding and correcting that child. So that's the reason why I wasn't loose with myself. You know what I'm saying? And I would watch from so many people. Like I heard, I heard a clip yesterday from Lil Boosie. Lil Boosie got a 15-bedroom house, and his kids don't live with him. And he was sad when he said that. And it's because the curses, and it's because the vibrations that's on this earth, that women think that it's okay for the father not to be in the child's life like that. And I'm not trying to have all that. I'd rather not. And there's scriptures that talks about better to have no kids than to have 1,000 that are unprofitable. And I know a lot of these women are having children with men, and these children are unprofitable because they have no understanding, they don't have no constitution of righteousness, So I'm cool, I'm at peace. If the Most High want me to meet this woman, she's gonna have to have that type of understanding, and it would have to be proven. But at this time in life, I'm at peace with not having children. I've been at peace with not having children for years. That's why, at first, I don't do it now, but at first I didn't mind being with a woman who might have had a child. But nah, not no more. But anyways, back to the point of the message. I'm so grateful that I'm starting to see, especially young black men, a lot of men are not drinking that Kool-Aid. And now they're just focusing on their business, focusing on themselves. Because the females in the vibration, the spiritual vibration got these females careless. They're walking around careless. You know it, and like I know it. And these brothers are not falling for that carelessness anymore. Okay, don't get me wrong, you got your handful. Come on, Q. You got your handful. That's a no. You got your handful. And you're gonna always have your handful. But I'm rooting for the ones that are rooting for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, even I have matured to stop desiring things from my friends when they don't even desire certain stuff for themselves. So I'm only rooting for the ones that's pursuing righteousness. And they may not even understand that it's a level of righteousness. They just might realize that they're not trying to be fooled any longer. And that's fine. But I'm glad that they're not putting their desires in front of their purpose, their lust. And we all got desires and we all have lust. But I'm glad they're not putting it before their purpose any longer. And it's because of them coming across different inspirations on YouTube. And not just YouTube, it's because the vibration that the Most High put on them. But now they have the ability to stay focused. And they're seeing so much of the young ladies acting foolish, being careless. They're understanding now that the environment and society that we are in is not built for their success. It's built for their destruction. And guess what? I'm 44 years old. There's men my age who still haven't come to that conclusion. And it's because the spiritual darkness that is upon them have got them blind. They're attached to blindness. They're attached to certain entities. And those entities are going to use them up. Going to use them up to their dry. That's how that thing works. So I'm just in a place for years and years. I'll be like, dang, when will cats learn? When will let cats learn? I'm seeing that guys are learning and they're wising up. And for that reason, they're gonna have a better experience in this thing called life. Now, another thing that I noticed, yesterday I saw two women, older women, one one older, had to be in her 60s, and the other one had to be in her 20s. And they were changing the oil in their car. And I said, ain't that about it, bitch? And it's like, they had a little pride with it. And I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? They're like, hey, you're prideful. But when you get older, you ain't gonna want to get under no car and change no oil. And, that's the thing with females. They be so focused on in the now, stunting in the now, that they don't even realize the type of future they're setting themselves up with of hard times. I think that's what that statement, smile now and cry later. You see a lot of women smiling now and crying later. And it's because of the seeds that they're sowing. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about how I'm starting to see a lot more young men having some type of focus and determination. And they have to suppress their desires. You have to suppress your desires, or you will get finessed by your desires. Oh my goodness, that's fire. Suppress your desires or get finessed by your desires. And we all have desires. You can look at how a person is out of shape, overweight, obese. It was because their desires are finessing them. They're not suppressing them. You know what I'm saying? And it's so easy to get finessed by your desires. Because when you're dealing with your desires, you're just focusing on yourself versus your vision and your plans for yourself. So keep that in mind. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to have hope for the righteous sisters. You have to pray for your sisters. Let me tell you something. I watched the movie when I first saw the preview of the movie Woman King, I was like, my instinct like, oh, that's some BS. Here we go. But I like warrior stuff. So I'm going to the movies to see that. And I did. I went to the movies to see that, and I had an absolute amazing time. There were scenes in there where the whole theater, that's a no. No. There's a scene in there where you gotta stop your dog from eating some stuff off the ground. Y'all know better than that. Dogs get sick. They look good, they feel good. Next you know, you have a crazy vet bill because of some crap you didn't let your dog eat off the ground. So do not allow your dogs to eat anything off the ground. Even though they're adult dogs, they're children compared to you. And they'll do a lot of foolish stuff that you have to correct them from. So keep that in mind. So back to the movie. There was times in the movie where the whole theater was clapping. I was clapping. I was giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that was dope. And let me tell you something. The older women in the Woman King, there were some ugly women. But I promise you, they were not attractive. But these older women that were showcased in that movie, their spirit was so beautiful and strong, it made them beautiful. It made them beautiful to me, and I was like, if I met a woman with a sincere spirit like that, who had strength, and who was down, and you know, you can't tell if a person's down until you go through certain stuff. And they went through certain stuff. They were battle tested. And they rolled with each other. They had that discipline. I've never met a woman in my life, and I've been around plenty of women who had sincere discipline. And their discipline was so appealing to me that if these women were in real life, of course they had an oath to not be with men, but women don't understand how beautiful discipline is, self-control, and loyalty. Those are all beautiful attributes. Those all bring out your beauty of your spirit. And I was like, dang, these women are beautiful. How their external faces looked didn't matter anymore. I was like captivated by their personalities and their will. And you know, they're out here, the Most High got them tucked away. And the only way that you're going to attract them is by aligning yourself with the Heavenly Father, with the Creator. And He'll put you guys together if that's what He has for you guys. And it takes time. Sometimes when you pray for a certain thing, when it comes to a spouse, it can take years. You and your spouse could be praying for the same thing. Oh Lord, send me a husband. And you're like, oh Lord, send me a wife. And He will probably grant that request. But the answer and the manifestation of it could be a whole decade. It's in the scriptures. You read the book of Tobit and the Apocrypha. It'll show you. They both were desiring spouses. And they both prayed the same exact day. And it was 8 years later they met. So you have to be patient and you have to be diligent. You can't tempt the Lord and be like, oh, if you don't send me a wife, I'm going to jump off a curve. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't tempt the Lord. You just got to still be righteous and still be full of hope, and still be on your mission. You know? So shout out to the righteous men. Shout out to the righteous women. You know what I'm saying? You being heard. You just being developed. You have to also have contentment. You know what I'm saying? Also got to have contentment, learning being content, and continue to develop yourself so that your spirit can be beautiful. You know. But that's enough. I just want to say I'm just really happy that these young men are able to find direction and getting some understanding, because the Most High is putting a vibration back on the men to rise up. A lot of them are not, but the majority of them are. The ones that are supposed to are. Put it that way. And you see that. You see that. The ones that are supposed to are. You know? So, seasons are changing. And I hope that you guys are changing with it. Taking full advantage. I'm very grateful that I'm in a place now that I can be what I've always was looking for. The light, some direction, some clarity. Now I get to be that. Pay that thing forward. So that a lot of young men and women won't have to make those mistakes due to the lack of authority. Another thing that I noticed, I watched a clip this morning as I'm getting the dogs prepared, how they had to have this prison doctor come in and check this little boy who was being disrespectful to his mother. Every time she tried to tell him something, he's acting a fool. And guess what? Everybody want to be on the little boy, but the mother kept that boy away from the father. Why she gotta go to have a doctor from the prison come and check this little boy? Yeah, this little boy need a father figure and all that type of stuff. But that's what I'm talking about. But I bet you ask that woman, do you love your son? She gonna say, yeah. But she loved him enough to keep him away from masculine energy. That ain't true love. You know what I'm saying? That boy was supposed to always have men around in his life. And that's why he's hurting. Because he see her flaws. He see all she do is probably be on the phone and she don't do nothing with him. And so he doesn't have any direction. But now, at the last minute, she wants to go to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunately, that is the situation for a lot of people. Y'all start understanding what y'all seeing. You start to see people's judgments because of their poor choices. See it for what it is. It's their judgment for their poor choices in life. And when you start to understand it from that point of view, you hopefully won't make those same type of choices. So with that, I'm out. Thank y'all for watching or listening all the way through. Peace.